we'll just go live. We
Okay.
are live. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say because I went to Tulsa today, I got home early. So me and our friend DL went to
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa today.
Uh-huh.
I am off work all this week, and I had planned to go to Tulsa one day. We went to an art supply store, a bookstore, and three or four comic shops up in Tulsa.
Man, were they?
Yeah.
How many miles did you have to go to cover all that? Was it at all
Oh
hub
gosh,
hub hub related, or did
it
you
was all
just have to
pretty.
move?
They were pretty close to each other.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I thought about seeing if you wanted to go with us. You would have been welcome to,
No,
certainly.
no. I broke out of my habits yesterday by seeing Furiosa. I'll talk about that a little bit.
So I was gonna say,
Yesterday,
so first off, hey, I did a self portrait. I thought it came out pretty good.
not bad.
Not
I
bad.
see. I see the inner Scott. Yeah.
The wisdom in my eyes.
Uh huh.
So I've been uh, I've been on vacation, and so I've been. Well, first off, I've barely been home. Gone and done something every single day. It seems like, uh, and I've been studying. Oh, this beast.
Oh man.
And copying it, and I've redesigned how we're going to do the black cricket a little bit. I've changed. I did not that we're going to redesign. Not that it's going to be dramatic, but I'm going to do some stuff a little bit different. Um, so I wanted to show you some of the stuff I got in Tulsa.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see that. That's
so
a
I
big
bought this.
unboxing.
This is new off the shelf.
Uh huh. All
Seven
star.
bucks, but it's the Justice Society, and it's kind of a thick. And I've been trying. So there's a company called Gwanja Land. I don't know why they're called that, and they print public domain comics through print on demand.
Uh
And
huh.
I think they did this, but theirs was kind of expensive. So I saw this, and I thought, well, for 7 bucks. Read it and see if I want to get more of this. Maybe buy their trade or whatever. I've kind of flipped through it a little bit. I've been reading some Golden Age stuff. I bought. I'm not going to show you everything I bought because I bought all kinds of stuff. I bought this Art of Steve Rude 2024.
Oh
Are you a
my
big?
gosh. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Rude is fantastic for who he goes to as his source, which is of course
the
his
illustrators. Yeah, Loomis and a
Loomis
bunch of
mainly. Yeah,
people.
yeah. His all the knowledge you can gain from Loomis. It's in Steve Rude. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a lot of this stuff is commission stuff. I've got several books of his. He does these sketch books. Hang on, I got one of these right here, like this. That
Oh yeah.
that he sells at cons, and I bought these at a con, not from Steve, but from somebody else. And I believe I paid 10 bucks for this. But if you look, the one I bought today is like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
almost
hefty.
almost 200 pages, and it's got a lot of. I mean, look at this. That's
Oh
great.
yeah.
That's almost like a Riley kind of thing. His figure
Mm-hmm.
drawing is phenomenal. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Oh
appreciate
yeah.
this. He takes the Frazetta
Rosetta study. Yeah,
and
he's
then he
always
draws it.
studying. He's always studying.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen him at a con where he has his sketchbooks that you can flip through them, but I mean he does hardcover sketchbooks that are just amazing, and so I got that. Hang on, let me go over here. I bought a bunch. We went to a place that was selling comics, 5 for $1. So I bought just a bunch of stuff that looked like it might be interesting or had artists I like or something like that. So we went to a place that was selling Amazing Heroes, which this is from 1990 for cover price. And they had a bunch of them. This is the one I thought looked good because it had Studio Protus, which are the people that did a bunch of the manga back in the early 90s. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that'd be an interesting interview. So I bought that. I got this. This is old, but it's on the shelf. I paid 10 bucks for this, which is cover price. But it's got it's got this Savage Land story that came out in Marvel Fanfare 1 through 4. I don't have any of this stuff, but it's got it's Michael
not,
Golden. I'm sorry, what?
Okay, it's not the. I'm thinking of the Magnola Wolverine, where he went to the age of dinosaurs and all that. Okay, that's different.
No, that's different.
Yeah.
So anyway, but the reason why I bought it specifically is because it has this story that Paul Smith did. It's Paul Smith's first work, which I've been on a huge Paul Smith kick lately. It's Paul Smith's first work for Marvel, and I'd never had this. Anyway, so I bought it specifically for that story because I've never been able to find the Marvel fanfare. I bought this. I overpaid for it because it's $10 and it's damaged, but it's volume 2 of the Futurians, which is Dave Cockrum's creator-owned thing. This is it's not hard to find, but I think on Amazon you can get it for about $20. I got volume 1. I saw volume 2. I've never seen it on the shelf. I kind of wanted it, so I bought it. Again, it was $10. It was damaged. Probably the deal of the day for me was I bought this. This is 1 through 7 of when they relaunched the X-Men in the 70s or in the 90s, and it's damaged. But the guy gave it to me for $5. Covers $20, and it's like Jim Lee. I like Jim Lee. This era of Jim Lee I like. It's reviled kind of now, but I still think it's cool. And I love Omega Red. I know Omega Red's like a dumb character, and everybody's like, he's ignorant, but I love this era. I actually have a hardcover of this, but they recolored it. I like the original coloring better.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff does suffer from reinterpretations and stuff like that. It's like, oh well, everybody's going to want this more saturated. No,
right.
No, I don't.
Right. So for $5, I asked the guy how much I said, well, it's water. I said, I know, it's $20. I said, but it's water damage. How much do you want for it? And I was going to give him 20 for the 2 books, but he said, how about 15? I said, for the 2? And he goes, oh yeah. I go, I'll do it.
Excellent.
So,
he was there to deal.
He was there to deal. Yeah, he's had to, and when I showed him the water damage, and I think it's actually coffee because it's kind of brownish. I don't know if you can see that in the.
Oh yeah, and it's all rumpled.
It's rumpled. Yeah, but you know what? I'll look through it. Like I said, I have a good copy of it.
Its value to you is different.
Yes.
From somebody sticking it up on the shelf.
Yes. Okay, so I have one more story. Okay, so this is my Pentalic sketchbook. I've had this for a while. It's this Pentalic utility sketchbook. We were buying these in the 2000s at Hobby Lobby for like $6, and it's got 288 pages, and it's good paper. And I did the life drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, so I like this sketchbook, and I've got a couple of them. This one I haven't quite finished. I always had trouble with the last few pages of a sketchbook. Oh, wait, you know what? I think this is the one. No, one of these has some black cricket drawing. Oh, there's black cricket right there.
How about that?
Yeah, an early drawing of the black cricket. Anyway, I like the paper in these because it's just a nice. It's like thick typing paper. It's fairly smooth. Anyway, they don't make these anymore. Pentalic has stopped for some reason. I've got 3 of them. One of them I've drawn on like 2 pages. But what they make is they make a smaller one. I didn't know about that. You can't find them. You buy one on Amazon, it's like $30, plus like $10 ship. It's ridiculous. We went to Ziegler's in Tulsa, and they had one on the shelf. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe. And I said, do you got any more of these? And they said, no. They said it must have either been on the shelf, which I went to Ziegler's a couple months ago when Michelle and I went to Tulsa, and they didn't have it. So they must have found it and just threw it out there. But I paid like $8 for this. And it's 8.5 by 5.5. So it's the size of a small sketchbook. It'll be something I can carry with me. I really wanted this size. And it's so thick.
It looks like it's built pretty well. And you remember that era when probably the 80s when they were putting out stuff that was, stuff that said like beer and stuff like that, like real generic kind
Oh,
of
yes.
names.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Utility sketchbook.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull it out, but I got one of these from college. And it doesn't look like either one of these. In college, well, hang on. Let me grab it real quick. And so because of this, I kind of have like an affinity towards this. Hang on just a second. Now, this one's big. Hang on, I got it blocked in with books, of course. One of my goals this week that I was off was to clean my studio, and that didn't happen. So,
I need to make sure that that's something I get done around here. I'm going to die of leprosy if I don't clean around here at some point.
So this is the one I had in college, and you can see it's a lot bigger.
So that long ago they were making these.
Yes.
What do you suppose that was in reaction to that little trend of having generic names?
I think this was just something they made for students.
Okay.
And the cover's paper. I mean, it's just, I wonder how many pages it has. 288 pages. So
how about that?
So they and I didn't. I mean, you can see. Oh gosh, it's horrible.
Lots of stuff. Hey, you
Lots
know what?
Of bad stuff, man.
Don't ever throw that away.
No.
I know it. Yeah, it doesn't. You don't grow by looking at it, but you do say the journey. The journey is real.
Oh yeah. Well, and yeah, that one I have thrown away some sketchbooks, but that one I'll keep because it's from college, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I've always thought these were cool because the same kind of idea, slick cover, a little bit more design. But but today I got this and I was like, oh my gosh, because I know it's dumb, but I have an affinity for things, you know. I mean, does it make sense? There's things that's like, I like this because of an association with something.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, I don't want to say it's like magic, but it's like magic.
Jerry Seinfeld and Pop-Tarts. He
What?
made so much. Jerry Seinfeld and Pop-Tarts. He's been doing bits about breakfast cereal and Pop-Tarts for years and years.
Yeah.
And finally, he's got so much doggone money, he can do a movie called Unfrosted.
Oh yeah, about
And
Pop-Tarts?
it's basically his imagining of how the story of Pop-Tarts went between the competition between Post and Kellogg's.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I don't know if it's like that, but but it's just like I told you about this sketchbook. It was the last one I bought at Triangle A&E.
Uh-huh.
So it's like I'll hang on to this, and I'm not quite. One of my goals also was to finish this sketchbook, and I'm not done with it, Ellis. I went downtown yesterday. Yeah, and I went downtown. I drew a little bit yesterday. Oh, I didn't date it. I should have dated it. But I've got,
Yeah, you didn't go Tuesday because you, for whatever reason, you were planning on going Tuesday, but you didn't.
Right. I went Wednesday, and I'm not going to go tomorrow because Michelle took off work to spend her last day with me. But I will go downtown again in the future.
Oh, sure.
Just my time of vacation. So I wanted to show you this and the audience this. This is what I was working on last week.
Nice. Oh, yeah, that looks better on video. I don't know why, but it looks, yeah.
Oh,
like
really?
That. Yeah, it does. I think it's averaging a lot of stuff together and looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
I
neat.
mean, I'm not a painter, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something cool in the again, because this sketchbook means so much to me that I want to do something cool in the front of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, this thing is taking a beating. I mean, look how bad those corners are. It's like, but it's this is the thing. It's well made. I abuse these. When I take these hardcover sketchbooks, I abuse them. And the spine stayed on. I bought one not long ago, and I didn't even do a drawing in it. I just kind of opened it up to kind of break in the seam, to make it lay flat. And the cover, this right there, fell off. And I was like, what a piece of crap.
You cracked it past the
point of no
the
return.
glue. holding it on together.
Yeah, but I mean, and I mean, I don't know who's watching this, but man, I do a lot of drawing on location or whatever, if you want to call it that. And so, I mean, like that's my doctor's office. I didn't date it. I try and date them, or
that's always good to have just if you think of it, drop a date on stuff like that.
Yeah, this is a tire shop. I was getting a tire fixed. Not the most pleasant memory, but
I probably remember the screw that went into that tire. I think you made a point of telling me about it.
Probably. I mean, downtown. That's 8th and Broadway. There's I mean, like, there's you.
A drawing of me with my hat.
Hat.
I've given up that hat a little bit on walks. I've decided to get sun on top of my head a little more regularly.
Yeah, wearing a hat, if you got the wrong hat, this is in New Orleans, can make your head hot. See, like this is the New Orleans Public Library. I was waiting for them to open because they were on a book sale. So I did a drawing again, 8/20/22. Anyway, so
that's one of your best habits is all that life drawing. Basically having a sketchbook on your person.
I try and draw all the time, but man,
your best habit.
It's and I probably enjoy doing that more than anything. This is at my eye doctor's. It's a device that'll look at the back of your eye. To dilate your eyes and then.
That's pretty cool. I mean, but that's the sort of thing that Kim Jong-gi did a lot of. That that sort of storage is going on when you do a study. You do a study like that, that one heck of a lot better than I know how that's built now.
I could fake one for sure.
Exactly.
My drawing a tomorrow girl. Anyway, that's
your invention abilities just go way up when you do those kind of studies.
My sad life.
Well, I guess it may be at this point. I'm just
kidding.
You've reached the point of no return.
I am. You know what though?
There's no point in doing that to a person.
Hey,
what are you talking about?
So last week, I haven't talked to you since Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, since Thursday. I went and got a massage last Friday.
Excellent.
Dude, I feel. So.
Well, that could make you drop dead too. Supposedly, according to the rap about it, is releasing toxins as they rub.
This wasn't that kind of massage, dude. This was a legit thing. Nothing was released.
No, supposedly that's what I heard. Is that you're releasing toxins as you get so all of a sudden they're running wild in your system.
Well, let me tell you. I'll tell. I don't. Have I told you about my toes being numb?
No, you haven't told me about your toes being numb.
Oh, okay. Well, so my toes. I had in 2020, maybe August of 2020. It was a Friday. I was working at home. It was one of those. It's a time period when I was working home part of the time, and I had some pants that I had bought, like long pants, like dress pants. And they're very nice brand. In fact, it's a brand that I forget the name of the brand, but it's the brand that Glenn Beck used to hawk. I cannot remember the name of them, but they're supposedly made. They're copies of like the pants for World War II and all this stuff. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so the place by my work had some, and I paid they're like $95 a pair. And I think I paid like $7 a pair. They were like 95% off or something insane. And so I bought several. Well, they don't come hemmed. You have to take them someplace to get them hemmed. And so I was doing that. I was going to take them to this place and get them hemmed. Well, it was when Michelle and I was running every day. And we ran that morning. I had this pain in my leg, like in the outside of my upper left leg, like on my thigh, but on the outside. This
Uh-huh.
burning sensation, and I thought it was really odd, but I didn't think anything of it. I went to this place. I put on the pants. She measured them. We did all that. I was done. I was gonna go take them off. I was wearing a pair of shorts. Put my shorts on and leave. I took those pants off, and somehow I hurt my hip, and it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to get dressed. I leaned against the wall. I mean, it's so bad. I mean, it literally is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. So I got in my car. I went out. I told the lady, I said, I'm sorry. I hurt my back. And she said, well, do you want to sit down? And I said, maybe just for a second. She said, are you going to be okay? And I go, yeah, I think so. And so I realized if I sat down, I probably wasn't going to be able to get up.
Mm-hmm. You had
And
to
so
get your momentum going, huh?
yeah, and so I went. I made sure she had all my information. I left her my pants. I went. I got my car, and I didn't have the strength in my foot. It took all of my strength to push in the clutch on my car. And I got it going, and I got it in like third gear or second gear or something. I drove all the way home. Dude, it was so bad. I didn't think I was gonna make it home. I was praying, God, please help me. Literally out loud. I was in such pain. I got home. I came to the house. I told Michelle, and so I said, I took aspirin or something, and I laid on the couch, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and when I woke up, it was worse. And so she took me to the ER. Long story short, they gave me some steroids. They said I'd pinch it. There's a nerve in your hip that you can pinch, and it'll do that. And they suggest I go to physical therapy because when I got done, my toes were numb on my left foot. I went through like a whole round of physical therapy. It helped. It helped. My hip didn't hurt, but my toes have been numb ever since. So when I go to the massage, I tell the lady, I go, well, my neck is a little stiff. And I said, I'm hoping, and I filled out a questionnaire, and I told him, oh, my neck is stiff. I'm hoping that you can help with that. And so I also told her, I said, I didn't fill this out, but I told her that story. I told her the quick version of the story I just told you. I said, but my toes are numb. So she asked me which one. She goes, okay, I'll look at that too. Dude, now I'd signed up for an hour. I was going to sign up for 30 minutes because I always heard, don't get a long massage, your first massage, because it'll do you in. Dude, so I signed up for an hour, and so I told her, and so she worked, and my neck was so knotted up, and I mean, when she was rubbing it, I could hear my neck, like the knots popping in my neck, but it felt so much better, and I can twist, and I have no pain in my neck now. She went down to my toes. I told her which toes it was. And she pushed on them, and she could feel like there was, I don't know what she felt in my toes. And she worked her way up from my toes all the way to my hip. And dude, my toes feel great.
Excellent.
And not only that, I'd gotten numbness in my fingers, and I was like, am I developing neuropathy? Dude, I feel great, man.
Well, no, those physical manipulations work. I therapied, I told you that one time I had a shooting pain when I reached behind myself in my car in my shoulder, and I really thought for a while I was just developing arthritis all through those sorts of joints. But then I started to torture myself by basically twisting my shoulders up into a position, using these bars that are along that walk. And I twisted my hands up high behind my head by, just leaning forward and letting those arms go up way high and working that shoulder joint. That's gone now. That's history. That notion that I was developing. Yeah, it reminds me of Brian Shearer, who's a very good artist, who I follow on Twitter, that I've actually been on his podcast before long ago, back when I was doing those. He was one of the guys on those
Drawn and Quartered.
Drawn and Quarters, yes. And he's a guy that works out regularly at that Krav Maga type of stuff, and he's a very accomplished martial artist apparently, and very relaxed into that. But for whatever reason, oh, you know what? It came about from a long road trip where it was a fishing trip. And by the time he got done with the road trip, all of a sudden he had this shooting pain in his, like you, all the way up his hip, and I guess it was his sciatic nerve that he.
Yeah.
I think he was a solid month getting back to semi-normal on it, but he described that pain as like, it was just couldn't do anything about it. He could barely walk because of it.
Yeah. Well, and that numbness in my toes is why my last car I bought was an automatic, because I was like, God, if that happens
You
again.
were thinking that was part of the.
Yeah. I was
reason.
like, well, I don't think that caused it, but what my thought was that if I have a problem, I won't be able to drive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Get
Which
stuck.
is, yeah, because what I realized later is the reason why I had was so painful dry, because I had no strength in my toes. I couldn't push if I laid down. I told the lady this, when this first happened, if I sat down and lifted my toes, and you pushed on them, they'd go right to the ground. And there's supposed to be some resistance there, But anyway, the massage, holy cow, it really did.
The one thing I showed you when we were walking around the library, I can't believe I'm so ready to do dumb stuff like this in public. I showed you the Asian squat.
Oh,
where
yeah.
I went all the way with my butt almost to the ground with this deep squat. That thing right there will do you a world of good if you do that on a regular basis.
I have watched a video about that after we talked about it, and there was a thing that was saying if you can't you're supposed to keep, and you told me that you're supposed to keep your feet flat on the ground. And I was on my toes, and there was a thing about if you can't keep your feet flat on the ground, there's a stretch that you should do.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. I watched that video and did that, and it helped. I have not, since my massage, I have not been stretching, but Michelle and I have been walking like every single day.
That's the main thing you got to do. If you want to live, walk.
Yesterday, I went downtown and I walked. Oh, I don't have my phone with me. Was it 20 miles? I walked 20.
Y'all. That's a lot of walking.
Well, I walked downtown and Michelle came home and we walked, I think it was 20 miles. No. It was 10 miles. It's 20,000 steps.
I was going to say 20 miles is Jiminy.
Yeah,
no. That's a lot of moving.
Well, we've done that in New York before, but yeah,
you must have slept deeply that night.
Oh, God.
20 miles. Hey, this is what I got in the mail.
What'd you get?
Ghost of the Badlands by Razor Fist and George Alexopoulos. He's a very good artist. As a matter of fact,
cool.
I think he did some concept art for Cormac McCarthy stories, that were published. The No Country for Old Men and also Blood Meridian. Have you ever heard Blood Meridian or read it?
I don't think I have. I've read No Country for Old Men.
That's a good story. But this is a very good, it's very similar to, The Lone Ranger. A guy survives what he shouldn't have survived and becomes an avenging force, but he's a proxy for the real force, the Ghost of the Badlands. Is kind of like the Shadow, and of course Razor Fist is huge on the Shadow.
Loves the Shadow, yeah.
And he's got this mysterious Ghost of the Badlands that will come along and be the cleanup for this guy. But this guy's job now, as far as the Ghost of the Badlands, because he knows he's a bad man too, but he showed the ghost just enough good that he incorporates it. But as you can tell, it's one of those classic kind of stories that gets you really involved. And he's got the Ghost of the Badlands constantly quoting the Bible. Here we go. Here he is, and his dialogue's always in black. And took they the 30 pieces of silver, yet they placed it not in their treasures, for it was the price of blood. And I don't know where exactly that is, other than Judas. I don't know
Yeah,
what would it
Judas.
be. Yeah,
That would be.
I guess
Yeah.
he's saying plural for Judas there when he says they. I guess the Bible
Well,
did that. I
no,
don't know.
no. It's the Pharisees, the chief priests
Oh,
paid. That's the money they paid Judas. They're the they're the
oh,
they.
and so they didn't draw it out of their own
Well, they gave it to
bank.
Judas. Yeah,
Hmm.
they gave it to Judas.
See if I got another one here. But anyway, it's a good read, and I was going to, if we ever link up again downtown. I'm not in a big hurry to do it or anything, but it's. I
Yeah, I
didn't mean to
know.
say it that way. I'm saying that we don't have to link up in any sort of pressing way. Here we go. For the law is made not for the righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly and sinners, for the unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers. Kapow! Shoot somebody. He's got very patient victims. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they'll put up with a lot
A
of
lot of
uh,
just shoot me.
a lot of extrapolation.
And so he drove out the man with a flaming sword, which turned hither and thither, to keep the way of the tree of life. It's
Yeah.
very stilted kind of stuff, but it's cool. But I think you'd really dig it. And I'll bring that along with me sometime. Let you peruse that.
I think Razor Fist may have more religious bent than he lets on.
Oh, lately he's been into it pretty big. He has. I think he was shamed by a guy that he made a regular guest. One of these conservatives says, "Razor Fist, what's with the God effing speed?"
Yep, I
And
noticed he's dropped that.
He's dropped that. It's all of a sudden it's God speed. I
Yep.
think it's missing a little something.
Well, yeah, maybe.
But I think he did get conscious of it. It's like, hey, who is my
Well,
audience here?
I mean, I don't know anything about his publication history,
Yeah.
but I feel like he probably hasn't had a huge audience. I think his audience has grown. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
when that happens, I mean, all of a sudden, all you're thinking about, this is going to get all of a sudden, your instincts are saying, I'm going to get demonetized for even mumbling about this.
Well, I don't think it's that necessarily. I think it's just when he didn't have an audience, he was used to saying whatever.
Yeah, saying whatever he wanted to say, yeah.
Yeah,
The
and
bad old
now-
days.
Yeah, so now it's like, well, he's probably more conscious, especially if somebody pointed out, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it was some famous pundit that's kind of a friend of Trump's. And by the way, we ought to all be friends of Trump at this point.
God.
I tell you what, I'm getting kind of tired of this nonsense. It's like, okay, go ahead, give us another kick in the teeth. That's apparently the way
Yeah.
you want to do it, all the way up
Well,
until
It's very telling. Just recently, there's been this thing going around the internet about how expensive fast food has become, and it's like, did people not realize this? And so now all these fast food places are going, wait a minute, it's not us, it's this, or no, this is mistaken, that's not right. But it's very telling when all you hear is, oh no, the economy's great. But then it's like, God, you go any place you go, it's super.
yeah.
I mean, just like a burger, like a stupid burger is ridiculously expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and I don't know. Anyway, it's frustrating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I stuck the clutch in and grounded the gears when I even mentioned politics a little bit, didn't I?
Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, today of all days.
Yeah. It was I was watching Scott Adams. He that's where I got the news. He was covering it, so I got it kind of live as it happened. And
I
you could tell Adams was just ready to just go on a cursing jag, but he just kept it all bottled up. You could just see his eyes kind of glinting, almost with tears, because he was so angry at that the Relish, the CNN guy, was giving the entire 34 counts. He read them out. Not he didn't read the counts out loud. He just read the fact that it was on all points of the count guilty. You know, he was just into it. You know,
Yeah.
making sure he got it all in. I don't know.
Well, if it were just Trump, that would be one thing. But it doesn't matter. I mean, President Bush, did everything he could to appease the left, and they
didn't do a bit of good. Yeah.
didn't do a bit of good. They treated him the same way they treated Trump. The only difference is when he left office, and they've kind of left him alone. But
they brought him into the fold basically because he always was.
yeah, he was never. He was part of
always
the
an
system.
he was definitely always part of the swamp, and an enthusiastic member part of the swamp. When you think about
Sure.
his daughter Cheney being part of that laughable J6 committee, you know, that Apple was nowhere far from the tree on that.
Wait. Are you talking about Bush, or are you talking about
Cheney?
Dick
Cheney.
Cheney?
Dick Cheney's
Yeah, his
daughter.
advisor. Yeah,
His daughter was on the J6 committee.
Dick Cheney's.
Yeah, Dick Cheney's daughter. What's her name? So and so Cheney.
Liz.
Liz
Elizabeth.
Cheney. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Way to kill the mood, Ellis.
Yeah, I know it. I didn't realize I'd plunge you so far.
Well, I didn't hear about it because I was in Tulsa all day,
Oh, okay.
and I found out when my mom called me when I got home, and she goes, "Well, have you heard the news?" And I go, "About what?" And she told me. I was like,
Now, is your mom kind of like someone that kind of enjoys Trump getting it in the neck or not?
"No, I don't think so, but I don't know."
Because my mom was. I mean, my mom.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, but she's a Democrat through and through on
Well, yeah.
just everything.
She was a teacher, so
Yeah.
really, that. I don't know why that surprises me, but
Oh, she told me what I considered a damn horrific story of some poor old guy that was the only sole representative of the Republicans, apparently in that little area she grew up in.
Gravelly or whatever.
Yeah, Gravelly, Arkansas, and the Relish she talked about of this man that supposedly was punched in the face one night for his political views made me realize Mom is one of those. She's one of them. She's one of these people that are ready to, stick the
do violence. Stick the knife.
do violence for the cause. It's like the mob. My mom's part of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But that's the deal. I always assumed you just interpret through what you can understand at the time. I thought my family was presenting me with things like watching the Buckley show. My dad loved the Buckley show, but he really wasn't. He liked to hear an intelligent man and an intelligent conversation, but he wasn't pro-Republican via conservatives via Buckley. He was a guy that was a union guy. And,
yeah. Well, that kind of
and one
makes
time
sense.
he got real angry when he found a Mad magazine that had one of those it had an anti-union kind of one of those long-winded limericks that who was the guy that did those? Dave something or other.
Dave Berg.
Yeah, Dave Berg, and he did one of his long-winded essays about unions. And God, my dad was ready to say, "Hey, let's bundle all your stuff up and burn it now together."
We're gonna burn this and you and
yeah. No, he didn't like that at all. And it's like, Okay, I didn't know. It's like one of those "what's this doing in my house" moments. And it's like, what are you talking about? I just bought a comic book. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's yeah. It's funny when I was
In
with.
fact, I don't read those things. I read the Don Martins. It's like,
Yeah, those are Dave
those
Berg's
are
way
too.
too long-winded.
Oh yeah, it's way
Dad,
too
I don't
much.
care.
Yeah.
I don't care. When
I-
we were so Dave is working on a complete run of heavy metal, which is
oh
insane
my
to think
gosh.
of.
Well,
Yeah.
is he going to go just totally vintage, or is he going to go all the way up to the reimaginings of heavy metal that went on?
Well, I don't know where his stopping point is, but
Okay.
I know he's getting them in the 90s at least. So, but that's the original heavy metal still.
Hmm.
Um, he anyway. So when we were in Tulsa, he asked everybody if they had any heavy metals, and he bought quite a few. But I forget what we were talking about. But I was telling him a story about when I was a kid. I would flip through heavy metal at the drugstore, but I didn't dare buy one. I mean, my mom would have had a cow if I brought a heavy metal
Sure.
into the house. You
All that
know.
nudity. Yep.
Yeah,
Nudity and
no,
vulgarity.
yeah, no, just general nonsense. No, mom wouldn't have had any. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Bring home the Rand Xerox issue, where
uh,
he's basically, yeah, some of that
the
stuff that went on in there.
yeah, but I was telling Dave, there's a story that I remember looking at that was something about a guy riding a bicycle, but it wasn't.
Was
There's
it?
a
Was
mo.
it? Was
It
it?
wasn't. It wasn't the Mobius one
Oh, it's not the Mobius one where the
where they beat up the immigrant.
yeah, beat up the immigrant.
No,
I can't believe
not
it.
that
Yeah,
one.
it's not
It's
that one.
no, no,
Okay.
no, because that's in one. I have all those Mobius books. That's
Uh-huh.
in one of those. I don't think it was more of a fantasy kind of thing, and the
Hmm.
bicycle was flying. I don't think it was
Okay.
Mobius, but it was in that style.
Hmm.
And it's like I've tried to find that stupid story,
Yeah,
and
that kind of stuff can bug you, can it?
oh gosh, and there are places where you can find the Mobius or the heavy metals online, and I've perused them, but I'm like, God, I'll never find it, because I don't even know what year it was, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. You'll somehow. You don't know what year it was, but I bet you could kind of ballpark it if you started to think about it, associate it with something. When you looked up
83,
83,
83.
you think, okay.
Yeah, if I did guess, I would say 82, 83.
I can remember I was one of the guys. I must have had a subscription because I remember the one with those fighting robots arriving in my mailbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I had issue one, and
Well,
I had to have had a subscription, otherwise it wouldn't have been being mailed to me.
well, and to be fair, I'm not a big, huge heavy metal fan.
No,
I
I'm not
mean,
either. Uh,
it's in fact I remember in the late 90s 2000s I was writing to my cousin about doing comic stuff when he lived in New York about
mm-hmm.
I talked about how I was doing this stuff, and I was sending him copies of my artwork, and he was telling me, well, the only comics I read nowadays are heavy metal, and I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, it's
Yeah,
like I don't then it was like I didn't even know they were still publishing that thing.
yeah. Yeah, heavy metal was. It had some high points. It had, it showcased some pretty unique stuff, but it just had the stuff I think about is mostly the guys it was made for is like the guys that got them excited in the French pub, the Pilot, and actually the Metal Hurlant,
Yeah.
the stuff that they saw there that excited them, and those artists that they exposed us to for the first time of Moebius and stuff. Moebius and Dan O'Bannon's whatever the Long
The Long
Tomorrow
Tomorrow.
that was pretty crucial for a lot of people. That influenced a lot of stuff that went on after it. It's like, wait a second, what am I copying here? Of course, I should
You talking about
realize.
this?
Yes, that's the Long Tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
have all of these epics, by the way.
Oh my, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you've got quality stuff on your
Oh my
bookshelf,
gosh,
man.
I have enough stuff. I mean, I went to Tulsa and I bought a bunch of stuff today. But I mean, I've got enough stuff that I could sit. I mean, I didn't make a dent in my reading list for my vacation. This is my
No.
favorite.
The airtight garage, yeah,
I have,
that's cool because he gets kind of like whimsical and stuff. He gets as
yeah,
close to Dr. Seuss as he's going to get with that stuff.
yeah, uh, yeah. I did, I did read Raiders, almost all of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I
Oh,
don't know if I
that
talked about
that
the
paperback
novelization.
novelization.
Yeah, yeah. I read almost all of that. Oh, I went and saw Barry yesterday.
Oh yeah, and you said he was better, right? We had a friend that had his appendix burst,
Yeah,
and
it was
we're
not
talking,
good.
yeah,
I mean,
it
which
nearly
is,
killed him.
yeah, that's probably not much of
No,
an
it's not an
That's not any
exaggeration.
of an exaggeration. I mean,
No,
it
if he hadn't
literally,
been found, he would have died. So
yeah, it's pretty sobering to think
yeah.
about.
Mhm.
Because he lives alone, like
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
and like Dan. I don't know if Dan is watching, but
I'll send the cats for help if anything happens to
there you
me.
go. Yeah, that'll help.
Just like Ren Tin Tin, cats are probably even more faithful than your average dog. People don't know this.
Yeah, because it's not true, but
Yeah, because it's not true. Yeah. Go,
go
get
go
the
to Scott.
police, Fatso.
Go. Yeah,
That's the name of my cat,
you had to go
Fatso.
next door and
First, let's
get
talk
some.
about this name, Fatso.
Yes. Uh, anyway, I have been reading or listening to an audiobook that I've just loved called the library has it, but it's a lot of time. I don't know if you have patience for it, and it's X-Men, but it's called Mutant Empire. It was a trilogy that was published in the 90s when Marvel was doing all their novelizations, and it's by Christopher Golden. It's just I really am enjoying it. I've got about 7 hours left on the thing, but
I tell you, I tell you what is. I can't believe how much I'm enjoying. Well, I guess I ought to because I enjoyed The Martian. We talked about this a little bit, but
oh yeah,
the Hail Mary is just compelling stuff. It is a lot of really
what's
good storytelling.
what's it about?
Well, it's about our son's inner. This sounds too green and woke and all that, but and it also sounds like some really stupid movies of the world ending that have happened just recently in recent memory. But this is done so well, you don't even think about that in terms of like connecting it as one of them. It's just that our sun is being uh, losing its energy to this mystery thing that is going back and forth from the sun to Venus, and it's requires solving everything that it's doing. And like I say, I don't want to run any of it for you, but it is just compelling stuff. I'm already about over a third through it, and it's like and I'm just using it as the backdrop on my drawing on DL and Odious. So
Right.
I'm listening to extra on it. It's like I'm going to listen to another one. Another basically CD's worth of it. Um, yeah, that's good. Oh, and Furiosa, I've titled this thing Imperator, whatever, Furiosa is the
Yeah.
title today. And I saw that yesterday. I caught an 11 o'clock showing. Man, sticker shock all up and down. It's been so long since I've been to a movie. It was $13 for the admission, nine
Where'd you see?
dollars if I wanted a small popcorn, which I begged off of. I said no, I don't want that, $9. And it's like so didn't buy a
Where'd you
thing.
Where'd
I
you see
went
it at?
I went to the one in Moore. What is
Oh,
that?
the
The
Harkins.
Yeah,
Harkins.
I guess it's Harkins.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it in spite of the 30-minute preamble that was just pure torture. I couldn't even stand it. I took about 7 minutes of it, and I went out in the hall. The ads and the trailers that run together,
Oh God, I hate
too loud,
I
and
hate the trailers. I wish they'd do away with movie trailers.
they
Show them online.
Yeah.
There's no need to waste my time at the theater with them.
right. Well, yeah. The whole point is just now it's just they it's just an amalgam of advertising. It's not just purely trailers. They don't do that. They don't set aside the
Yeah.
time saying, now here are your trailers. They just work it in with the
They
rest
show
of the
Coke
advertising.
ad and they show it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and here's
it's
the
It's
problem.
blended. It's masterfully blended, I guess, is I think
It's
they've done.
masterfully made,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's really it's
I hate
impossible to endure.
I don't know if you remember The Simpsons where Homer went to see a movie, and at one point he takes off his shirt and he's walking around going, "Start the movie."
yeah, I know.
And that was probably 20 years ago when they did that.
Yes.
Now I don't know. I'm with you. It's torture.
No, I mean if they're
It's,
trying
we're rats being advertised to it 24 hours a day,
Yes. Yep.
and it's crap in my opinion. I hate it.
Yeah, if someone wanted to make $1 billion, they discover the foolproof way to
Skip ads.
shield us from ads. In every hour of our experience.
No, I think it's going to get worse before it gets
Oh
better.
yeah, oh yeah. Well,
And it's like they sell all our information.
hmm
I've lately, the big thing that I've had happen to me is the AT&T keeps calling me, and they go, "Well, good news, we're updating your internet."
hmm
Well, now my internet got updated not like last year, and so I'm like, "Well, what are you doing?" Well, no, my question always, how much will it cost me?
hmm
Well, the great news is if you sign up for a year, the first 6 months are only $10 more than you're paying now. And I'm like, well, what's it go up to then? Well, it's like, $20 or $40 or whatever. And I'm like, no, no, no. And they're like, well, this is faster. And I go, no, I don't want to upgrade.
hmm
And they're like, but you don't understand, it's faster. Yeah, and what I have now is plenty fast.
Mhm.
I have no problems with my internet. And anyway, so they call me, and they're like, okay, well, we'll sign you. And no, do not sign. No, no, I don't want a trial. No, I do not want to pay anything else. And they keep doing this. And they call me today. And so today they're asking me, well, are you? They were like, we're
just
trying to
can't
reach
believe it.
Michelle.
What-
Today, today they asked for my wife. And I said, well, this is Scott Sackett, not. They said, well, are you? We're calling from AT&T. We need to
keeps
talk about the
saying
bill. And they go, well, are you authorized to do something on this account? And I go, no. And they go, you're not authorized to. I said, no, I'm not. I have no authorization to make any changes to this account. And the guy's like, okay, well, thank you. Because they can't do anything. They can't. If they do anything, it's like, well, you knew I was not authorized.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I could if I wanted to, obviously, but anyway.
Well,
So we'll see if that somehow they don't have Michelle's number, so don't call her. They call me, and I'm like, no, and they just call it all odd times of the day. It's just a nuisance.
It sounds like it. We had something. I don't know if it's just in San Diego, but there were people that were calling and changing your cable service like that with basically
Yeah.
slam phone calls. They were just saying, "Okay, there you go. You're now on our service or whatever." And it was like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
that's
How did
that's-
that happen?
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about something like that happening.
Mhm.
Where all of a sudden they'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute, I didn't agree to that."
That sounded like a yes to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
I
and
don't
they're
know how
super
they. I don't know.
pushy.
Yeah, I don't know how they managed to do that. The slam changes that they pulled off back when I'm thinking of it. It's like, how can you even imagine some sort of legal transaction went on that quickly?
Yeah. So, changing the subject briefly,
Yeah.
I was going to give you the latest on my deal with the MTV guy.
Oh yeah, let's hear that. This is very
So,
interesting.
so anybody that's watching that maybe hadn't watched or whatever, I have a guy that I met has is friends with the one of the main founders of MTV, the guy that basically invented pay-per-view television. He's friends with him, and that guy's got like a new venture that he's starting up where it's going to be some kind of multimedia thing, and he's looking anyway. So my
It's called
friend,
advertising all the time.
yeah, advertising
After
directly
all
into
this
your
stuff we're
brain. Yes,
Yeah, after
he's
all the
yeah. They're
stuff we've been
making they're
running
making
down.
they're gonna make movie trailers anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So the guy that I know wants me involved, and so well, you don't know any of this because this all happened
Yeah.
after the
This.
last week. So Saturday I went. So the guy that I know, this is going to sound ridiculous. He works at Walmart, and I know when you say, "Well, wait, he's going to work on this big deal," but he works at Walmart. They don't have it up and running. Okay, there's no money yet. There's he has investors. They have money invested, but nobody's getting a salary yet
Mm-hmm.
on this deal. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the guy is working at Walmart, and that's how I met him. He's a greeter. Anyway, so he wants me involved in this. Oh, and it's a long story about how we kind of became friends. Aside from talking to him at Walmart, I saw him at the art supply store, and he's a painter. Well, his son's a musician. So my friend Dave, not different Dave, stops me, and he goes, "Hey, I want you to look at this video that my son did, and it was a Memorial Day video." And so I told him, I said, that's pretty cool. I said, but I have, so they're creating content, but they have some values that they want to inject in this
Mm-hmm.
content. And so my thing has always been, hey, you need a story added. Don't do a song and a video that's got some crazy graphics, but make a story out of
Mm-hmm.
it. And so that's the thing I've kind of been pitching for how, he wants me involved. That's how I can contribute. So I told him, I go, well, and it was kind of a montage. It's all AI generated. It's a montage of different animations, but it was kind of random. And so I told my friend Dave, I watched it. He sent me the video, and I watched it while I was at Walmart. And I told him, I said, it looks pretty cool, but I think it could be punched up a little bit. He goes, well, don't tell me, call my son and talk to him about it. So he gave me, so he said text him. So I texted him. So we met Sunday afternoon at the coffee shop,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked for about 2 hours. And I told him, and I'd taken his video and I'd broken down the shots. And I told him what you need. I said, this would be much more compelling if you arranged them in a story. And I broke down his shots and I rearranged them. And I said, if you do this, I think it would be more impactful. So I said, I'd like to, and he said, well, the guy liked the video, but he felt I could do better. And so he wants me to do a 4th of July one that's going to be just amazing and blow everybody away. So I said, well, if you would like, I can help you with it. I said, if you don't want me to help you, that's fine. I'm not trying to, push myself into a situation or whatever. So he calls me, like this is Sunday. He calls me Sunday night and he goes, hey, I just want to let you know. He goes, really, he said, I was very impressed with your ideas. And he said, I really want to work with you. Can we get together? So we're going to get together tomorrow and talk about his 4th of July video
Oh, cool.
and see where that goes. But anyway, yeah, so I'm becoming entrenched in this new venture. So
But no, you're right about the story. Story. If you can get it started and going, you've got the hook you need. because
Well, yeah, that's
people want that story to play out. That's the only thing that gets anybody hooked on anything is having a story.
well. What I told him was I had jury duty. Oh God, jury duty. I had jury duty, and when I had jury duty, I was impressed because the prosecutor created a story, a narrative about the crime. It was a murder
Hmm.
trial, and they put the whole thing together in a way that on the jury you saw, motive and opportunity, and it all made sense, and it wasn't just a bunch of evidence, and it wasn't kind of a mismatched mix of testimonies. It actually made sense,
Hmm.
and I that's when I realized, well, a lot of that kind of thing is all about storytelling,
Yep.
and I think with these videos that he's doing, I think I could really help him. I think so.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's like
meet
don't do a whole.
Saturday. I think I said tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah.
Keep it.
Yes.
Get your audience. Treat them like they're intelligent, like they can figure it out from just a little smidgen of something,
Yeah.
what they're looking at, and draw them through in little subtle ways that every step of the way they're having to meet you and say, "Oh, I get it, I see what's
Yeah.
happening."
Yeah. You
Uh,
kind of spoon feed them, but not like spoon feed them.
yeah, yeah.
You
Uh,
know.
there's this Netflix has an uh, 8 episode series. That, it ends with this one year of it. I hope it ends with this one year of it. They're doing it so badly. It's called The Three Body Problem, and I really just can't believe how bad it is. It's because they seem like they've got this manga stuff that they've got a ton of material that could have been turned into whatever story they wanted it to be, and instead of having us everything relate to the story, it becomes all this internal stuff about unrequited love and things like that. And it's like, well, my gosh, you haven't been interesting for an hour here. It's like get with it. Get with the story about this weird race that is coming to replace us that considers us bugs, etc. It's like it is amazing how off track this very high profile thing is capable of being. You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do on the for the Memorial Day video, but I'm excited. I told him, I said, one thing that's great about, I can't believe I'm saying this, but one thing that if we're using AI for this, which I don't subscribe to using AI for most things, but for making a video, I said one thing is we can show, if you want to show a soldier running across a field, we can show 1,000 soldiers running
Sure.
across a field just as easy. We can scale it up or as small as we need to.
No,
You know,
I'm going to be using AI, and just as soon as I get forced to get a new computer, it'll be
something that
I'll be all over it AI. I'm going to use it for a dozen different things. I'll use it to help write roughs and stuff like that. Imagine,
dude.
you're always kind of like you always stall out a bit when I tell you to do completely independent comics on your own, do your own writing.
Oh, no, Dan, don't listen to him.
but
Yes.
but you should do your own writing on comics, and come up with your own characters. Imagine getting a whole first rough draft on a comic, and your instincts are to say, stand aside, let me break the shots out of that. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, if you're looking at a rough of a complete story that you've just entered with prompts and paragraphs of this and that, and had it completed for you in the style of early John Byrne, that'd be one of the prompts. And all of a sudden, you're looking at this and you can't even believe how damn near beautiful it is. And you say, I am going to do this story. You know,
Well, I use Chat GTP to write my tags for my videos
I'll be. How about that?
because I don't. I that's something that takes me a long time to figure out.
And
So I just tell
probably
it,
is a big help. I bet so.
write. I need 20 tags for a YouTube or 30 tags for a YouTube video. Separate them by commas, and I say what the video's about. For a YouTube video about blah 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 blah.
Sure.
You know, and it spits them out. I just cut and paste them, and I'll look at them. If there's something I don't like, I'll take it out. And there usually is one that's like, that doesn't really make any sense. Or there's one where I'm like, they didn't talk about this, or there's usually something that I gotta fix up. But it's I mean, you should do it for our videos.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to use it. Do I have to use Chat GPT? Is that like as easy as going to like Google?
It's a web page. Yeah.
Okay.
Google Chat GTP and you'll be there.
Okay.
And again,
and it's free, right?
Yep, it's free. You
Well,
can.
I'll
It's
try it
amazing.
tonight.
It'll write you anything, Ellis. Go in there and type. I mean, I typed up like, I want a 10-page comic sample, a script. You have to tell it what you want, but I went in and I told it I want a comic style script written, starring, and name the characters and what takes place in a bar and two people fight and this, and it'll spit it out in 30 seconds. And I mean, if I'd have had it when I was sending in submissions, I would have done that. I would have done 50 of them and picked the best one.
Sure.
I mean,
no, that's the deal. It's like it is infinite monkeys on infinite typewriters. All of a sudden, just brought down to this one little locus of, like, it comes out with a few prompts.
It's crazy.
You can get something pretty dang good. Yeah, I'm looking at. I went to ChatGPT.com and I've just got a white page. It probably doesn't even recognize my my OS and my browser at this point.
Maybe not. You can do it on your phone.
Oh, yeah, I could, I guess. Yeah, I may do that. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Well, tonight's I'll just use Furiosa from some sort of promotional item, and that may get a few hits. Oh, by the way, I've looked up often enough here, and we didn't get any interaction today. So that's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody.
That's kind of crazy. Oh, it's after 8. Wow.
Yeah, and it is also. We've been there in an hour and 7 minutes, and you've done some good drawing there. You've done some X-Men.
Yeah, well, I did the Angel. I'm working on my my Marvel Universe. This is the sketchbook I'm doing them in. But I don't know if I. So this is.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I did an Absorbing Man based on you, like a prompt almost, like when I.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yours was not based on the real Absorbing.
Yeah.
It was your memory.
My memory sketch.
Yeah. Hey, that's
and
cool,
I told you I got ill in the back of the car when I read that story. So when I think of Absorbing Man, it's almost like a Pavlov response. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Ellis.
Yeah. Absorbing Man.
Hurling Man.
Yeah. Okay, well, Scott, I guess we'll just end it there. And
sounds good, dude.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy.
See ya.
Ending.